Konnichiwa. That means good day in Japanese. And that is how people in the country of Japan would say hello to one another. And they still say that today. And they'll do a little bow, or it might just be a little bow with their head, or it might be a very deep bow if it is somebody who is very special and someone that they really want to show great honor to. I have on a Japanese kimono. This is a special robe, and this used to be what the Japanese people wore all of the time. Now they just wear it for very special occasions. It's called traditional clothing. This kimono, my daddy actually got this for me when I was 7 years old. When I was just a little girl, my dad went to Japan on a business trip and he bought this for me. And I want you to notice the big sleeves in it. They made these sleeves this big. They designed it this way a long time ago so that the children could have lots of room to play and move their arms. And so they make the sleeves big in the adult kimonos as well because the adults think that it makes them look a little younger, like children. Now, this kimono almost goes down to, well, it goes about halfway down to my ankles right now, but it used to be really, really long on me when I was a little girl, so my mommy actually sewed up a very big hem in the bottom of it, and then as I grew, we took that hem out. So, our book this week, A Pair of Red Clogs, takes place in the country of Japan. So, let's take a look at our world map. And let's find where Japan is on this map. Japan is on the continent of Asia. So maybe you can point on the screen to where Asia is. All right, I hope you got it right. It's over here. Remember our story of Ping who lived in China. And now our story takes place in Japan. Japan is a series of islands with the biggest one being right here off the coast of China. It's in the Pacific Ocean, the country of Japan. The people in Japan speak Japanese. That is what their language is called. Just like our language is called English, their language is called Japanese. And I wanted to show you just 5 little Japanese words. These are the numbers. We would write the number 1 to look like this. This is our symbol for the number 1. This is how they would write the number 1. And they would say that ichi. Our number 2 looks like 2 lines for them. Ni. Number 3, 3 lines. San. Number 4, this to me kind of reminds me of a window with curtains in it. And they say that chi. And then number 5, this kind of looks like a chair, and that is go. So if the children in kindergarten classes in Japan are counting, when they counted 1 through 5, this is how they would count. Ichi, ni, san, shi, go. I'm going to do that again for you. Maybe you could do it with me. Ichi, ni, san, shi, go. So just a tiny little Japanese language lesson for you today. So our book, A Pair of Red Clogs. The author of this book, Masako Matsuno. That's kind of a hard name to say, even for Mrs. Mo. This is a Japanese woman, and the illustrator is Kazuo Mizumura, which is also Japanese. So I probably am saying their names a little bit wrong, but I'm doing my best. So I couldn't find any information about this author other than that she also wrote another book for children. And the theme of that book had to do with honesty. And that is a big theme of this book too, isn't it? Honesty. And we're going to talk about that right at the end of our fun facts video today. So another thing that I wanted to show you is the flag of Japan. Really simple, isn't it? White, the red circle. Red is a very important color to the Japanese. It has to do with courage and bravery and being very noble. The very first page of this book shows a pair of red clogs. Now again, these are the types of shoes that in the olden days of Japan, they used to wear all the time. Now they are traditional, so they would have them and wear them at maybe on special parade days or festival days, and probably would wear them with their kimonos. But the little girl in this story, she is so excited because she gets to pick out a brand new pair of clogs. Don't you get excited when you get to pick out something new? When she gets her new clogs, she loves the sound that they make. And the author describes this sound when she walks. She says that it sounded like her shoes were talking. And when she walked, they would talk karakoro, karakoro. And when she would run, they would sing koro, koro, kara, kara. Those words aren't real words, are they? They're made up words, and they describe the sound that the author remembers when she used to walk in her clogs when she was a little girl. But how she made up those words is something that we have actually done in our English language. We have made up some words that sound like the sound that they actually make. Words like, I'm going to put these up on the board for you. All right, I'm going to put 3. These words, this is a really, really super big word. It's called onomatopoeia. Onomatopoeia. Isn't that a silly big word? That word means when you make a word because of the way it sounds. So let's look at these 3 words that I wrote on the board for you. We have buzz. Buzz. Doesn't that sound exactly like the sound that a bee makes or that maybe a chainsaw makes? Buzz, buzz. This word, drip, drip. When water is dripping from a sink faucet, drip, drip. That is how that word was made up because of the sound. What about this one? Click, click. When you are maybe buckling your seatbelt or your car seat and it makes that sound, that word was made up because of the noise that it made. And that is exactly what the author in this book was doing. She was trying to describe the sound by giving them words. Karakoro, karakoro. And then koro, koro, kara, kara. I like those words. All right. Then it talks about the weather telling game that she and her friends play. So these clogs are made of wood and they can actually stand up on their side. Our shoes might not really do that very much. Maybe you could get a tennis shoe to do that, but these would either land this way or sideways or upside down when they would throw them. And this was just a silly game, and they would say that that meant what the weather was going to be for that day. And that is how she broke her clog, isn't it? She was so very, very sad when she broke her clog. She loved her brand new shiny clogs, but now they had a crack in them. And they didn't sing anymore, did they? They didn't make that lovely karakoro sound. And she was very, very sad about that. Now, before we talk about the end of this book, I want to tell you just some really neat, fun facts because this week is the same week that in Japan, all of the people will be celebrating a special day called Children's Day. don't really have a Children's Day here in America, although I kind of always tease my kids and tell them every day is Children's Day in America. Here in America, we have Mother's Day, which is coming up. Don't forget, do something special for your mommies. And we have Father's Day, and we have Grandparents' Day. Well, in Japan, they have Children's Day, and it is on May 5th. That is coming up. I think it is on Wednesday of next week, May 5th. I might be wrong on that day, but May 5th, Children's Day in Japan. So I want to tell you just a little bit about what they do there. First of all, the Japanese word. Here's another language lesson for you. The Japanese word for Children's Day is kodomo no hi. Kodomo no hi. That's a big word, and it sounds very strange to us because we're not used to hearing the Japanese language. But to them, it's not strange, and as a matter of fact, it's a very exciting word for those children. Kodomo no hi, Children's Day. So this is a day where they honor children, and they just want to honor children's happiness and how special they are. So there are a few things that they do on this special day. Just like we put up decorations and we have special foods that we eat when we have special days, that is what they do on this day. One thing that they do is they hang special streamers or flags that look like fish. Isn't that kind of silly? Because here in America, we wouldn't really think to hang a flag of a fish. But in Japan, they really value a fish called the carp. And so they make these flags and they have beautiful streamers on them. Sometimes they might make them themselves or they buy very, very beautiful flags. And maybe you could make one of these carp streamers this week for one of your projects. I am going to send a link to Mom and Dad so they can see what that looks like. And maybe you could make one of these streamers. The carp is a big, strong fish, and the Japanese like them because they are very strong and they swim against the stream, the current in a stream. So if the stream is flowing this way or a river, the water is going this way, they swim very, very hard against that stream. And they jump up waterfalls, and they are just very strong and brave fish. And so that's why the Japanese hang these carp streamers, because they want their children to be strong and brave, just like the carp. Another thing that they do is they put decorations around their house. They put out samurai, dolls, helmets, or armor. Do you know what a samurai is? Boys, this is so cool. These are their warriors. These are the warriors, how they used to dress in olden days. Does this look like a Ninjago guy? Yes, the Ninjagos are samurai, and they used to wear all of this very big special armor as they went to battle. And so once again, these decorations that they put out remind them of being strong and brave, and they want their children to grow up to be strong and brave. They also have some special things that they eat. One thing that they make, and again, this might sound maybe a little strange to you, but it's just different. It's not strange or weird, it's just different. They take rice cakes and they make a special paste that they put inside. It's kind of like peanut butter, but they make it out of beans and lots of sugar. It's called bean paste, and it actually does taste very yummy. I have had it before. So they make this special bean paste and they put it between their rice cakes. That is called kashiwa mochi. Kashiwa mochi, a special food that they eat on this Children's Day. And they also eat dumplings. Now, I know Sophia eats dumplings, and maybe some of the rest of you do too. They are delicious, and that is one of their special foods that they have on this Children's Day. And then one more really neat thing that they do is they put iris flowers around their house. And the iris flowers are a very, very beautiful flower that bloom in Japan. Just like we have all kinds of beautiful flowers blooming right now at the beginning of May. In Japan, these iris flowers bloom. And these flowers, again, they're a sign of good luck to the Japanese. So they put them in their house because they want their children to have good luck and to have good blessings. And so they decorate with the flowers. And then also, the children might take special baths that night. And they might take some of the petals off of the iris flower and put it into their bath water and take a bath. And that is supposed to be good luck for them and sounds kind of fun and sounds like it would smell really nice too. All right, so maybe your family could have a Children's Day celebration this week. Wouldn't that be fun? Maybe you could make some of the decorations and you can buy frozen dumplings at Walmart. I know because that's where I get mine. And you could get rice cakes and maybe you could put something else yummy between them if you don't like the idea of the bean paste. But maybe you could have a fun Children's Day. So when the little girl in our story breaks her clogs, she has a crack in them, and she's really sad, and she says that they don't sing anymore. Now they just go goro, 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 goro. And that's not a sound that she likes. So she comes up with a plan, doesn't she? She decides to get her clogs dirty on purpose. But she isn't going to tell her mother that she got them dirty on purpose, is she? She is going to try to trick her mother. And so she gets them very, very dirty. And when she goes home that night, now her shoes are saying something different. Now they're saying beta, beta, beta. She imagines that her shoes are saying, you are a liar. You are telling a lie. Do you see how she's walking with her head down? She knows that what she has done is not the right thing to do. And you know what? Usually, especially if we choose to do the wrong thing, we know. We know. And she's feeling a little ashamed of her choice, but she still wants those new shoes so badly that she thinks maybe it's still a good idea. But when she gets home, her mommy doesn't suspect at all, does she? She says, Mako, what has happened? How did you get your shoes dirty? And Mako just says, it's mud. And her mommy tells her how to clean them. And she does a really good job cleaning them, doesn't she? While she's cleaning them, she still is feeling bad. Inside, her little heart is sad because she knows that she tried to trick her mommy. Well, she ends up being able to get her shoes nice and clean, and nobody even knows. As a matter of fact, her father is even proud of her and tells her. And then her mommy just tells her, make sure you don't play that weather telling game because that will crack your clogs if you do that on the hard streets. But Mako already knows that, doesn't she? And then her mommy does end up getting her a new pair of clogs after a little while. She ended up doing the right thing. She didn't tell her mommy a lie, but she thought a lie, didn't she? And she did something that was kind of tricky, and she was hoping that she could get a new pair of shoes out of it. But then she ended up obeying mommy and cleaning her shoes and getting a new pair in a little while. Now, this is a story that wants us to think about being honest and about being truthful. And you know, Mrs. Mo has talked about this. There are many, many verses in God's Word about being truthful and about being honest and not telling lies. So just one Bible verse that I want to say to you now. It's found in Proverbs chapter 12, verse 22. And it says, lying lips are an abomination to the Lord, but those who deal truthfully are his delight. Now, when it says that lying lips are an abomination. That's a big word. What that means is that God hates it. Lying lips, God hates them. But do you know what makes him so happy? And he delights and is so pleased with us when we speak the truth. God wants us to speak the truth. I hope that you will desire to do this. I hope that you want to bring joy and delight to your moms and your dads and your family and your friends and your teachers, but most important of all, to bring honor to God, and so that the Lord will delight in your honest words.